What's going on, guys? King Shrats here, back in the video on the channel, and today we made ourselves a carnitas burrito bowl featuring these Tostitos Habanero chips. I went to Walgreens yesterday. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably already know, but I found these and I've been looking for these for a while, and the minute I find something new, it's always, yo, I gotta do something with this. One of the best things that I always do with those Tostitos or any kind of nacho chip or even potato chip in general is make a burrito bowl. So if you're digging the content, like, subscribe, thumbs up, all that nice, I'm not gonna say it today, YouTube-y stuff. I didn't say it. Anyway, let me take you through the play-by-play. I didn't film this because this was like really a freestyle, but I had a pork tenderloin, which I pressure cooked for about 30 minutes. Once I had those juices done, obviously it was seasoned already. Took those pan drippings, chopped it up, added some peppers and onions, diced peppers and onions back into it, as well as the actual burrito bowl pork. Why can't I talk today? And then I seasoned that again, let that simmer, slow cooked it for about another hour or so while I was doing my other chores. Made the health rice. If you haven't seen the health rice recipe is on my channel in the cooking section. Very easy to make. It's your basic fare today. Just the rice, the cauliflower rice, and of course the vegetables. Slided that off, added those Tostitos to it. I haven't tasted them yet, but they smell really good. You can see my fat fingers with like a little grease. You can't even see in the bag. And then obviously added some sour cream, some of that melted queso, cilantro on top, and here you have it. Is that enough? I'm so bad at this recipe stuff, man. Anyway, without further ado, let me try the chip first. Let me use the chip. The nacho is the perfect vessel to get all this stuff in here. No, we gotta try it without it first. Just the chip. Let's see what we're talking about. Right here. That's a W. There was queso on that one. Overall, if you're expecting something really spicy, you are going to be very disappointed. They do have more spice than your average Tostitos, of course. I would liken it, it's not even as hot as Flamin' Hot, but the flavor is actually very good. Not super spicy. I don't know how much habanero they actually have in here. Usually I like to look at the back to see like where it is on the list. It's about 7th or 8th if you look on the back of the listing. So it's got a dusting on there. They're not going to burn your mouth, but I actually think these flavor are really, there's a nice additive to it. I would 100% get these again. Biggest verdict, if you're a person who doesn't like spicy food or you can't handle spicy food, you'll definitely feel a kick. If you're a person like me who enjoys spicy food, I think you'll just think they taste good. If you have had the Tostitos Habanero salsa, very similar in flavor profile, but it's more of a dusting on top of that nice nacho chips. You'll definitely enjoy it. Normally I'd use this spoon. Problem is shredded pork. We're gonna have to use the fork. And I made a rhyme. I should drop one of the hottest mixtapes of all time. Let's get in here. All right, there we go. Let's get a little sour cream. Boom. Right up in there in 4K. Y'all ready? I am. Oh, hold on. Shit. That wasn't a curse word. Kinda. Yes, it was. Nah. Don't demonetize me. I said Shetland pony. Is that a thing? Shepherd's pie. Nah, that's really good. The juice, the drippings, I poured it over the pork once I added it out. I poured it over the rice. Y'all already know. Makes a nice little gravy. Alright, you've been really cool. Slide it out the way. Jeez, that man. If you don't use like your pan drippings to put over like whatever you made, do it. I'm not gonna like judge you for it. You might not have tried it. But there's no way that you do it and you tell me it's not good. I don't really think that's an uncommon thing though, right? Oh, that's so good. Wow. Yeah, and I say this all the time, but like, it's very gratifying for me eating one meal a day. And just freestyling. Because as I'm cooking, I like, you know, I listen to music while I'm cooking a lot. So I'm like vibing, and you're like, okay, add this. and you start smelling it, especially with the pressure cooker because everything's seasoned. When you open that vent, it just starts like, it's like a meat potpourri. Man, that's when you really start getting it and you're like, man, I can't wait to try this. That's like really when I start to like get hungry. People ask me like, how do I do it? How do I get hungry? How do I not get, you know, eat during the day? I genuinely don't get hungry until it's like 5 minutes before game time because I start to smell the food. And between the peppers, this meat is so tender. Like, man. Let me get this. Let me pick it up. The pan drippings, man. The rice is, oh. Oh. I really gotta figure out this recipe thing. I want y'all to try this. Can you do enough of what I said? I mean, if you're a person who cooks regularly, you probably could. But if you're like, you know, a beginning cooker or someone who doesn't cook often, I guess that's really not enough. Because you need to know like the amount of spices. And I just put it on there until it looks good. But you gotta use those pan drippings. That's like the key. My goodness, this is so good. And you add that like the chip, the crunch, the spice. Again, pan drippings. Oh man, stop playing with me, bro. This is just like burrito bowls of any shape or way, shape, or form. Can't even talk because I'm up, you know what I'm saying? Are just life. Sheesh. I'm gonna sour cream too. Yeah. Y'all ever have Doritos and put them in sour cream? I almost missed my mouth. That's like the OG move. My cousin, one of my closest friends, like we grew up together, he was lactose intolerant, like bad. But for some stupid reason, this man, well, back then we weren't men yet, but he always, whenever they, like, my cousins would come and stay by us or vice versa, he would get a tub of sour cream and then season it. Garlic powder, onion powder, salt, pepper, paprika, stir it up. Get the Mondo bag of like Doritos and just eat the whole thing. Like, bro, you sleeping on the couch, bro. You ain't coming in my room sleeping in this mad stuff. I don't care if you sleep on the floor or not. Because he used to, you know them like, all right, I'm not trying to get too nasty, but you know like them lactose farts. Like, anybody in here lactose intolerant? That's a different kind of, because the worst, I'm not going to get too into farts here, but I'm still finna say it. The worst kind of farts are them ones that like they come out like, it's not the bombs, like the burn, like those don't stink like that. The ones that really stink, like I know they call them silent but deadly, but it's not even like a silent, because you can hear the wind. Like it's like a bruh. I still think it's hilarious. I sound like a 10-year-old right now, but whatever. We into it. How come your own farts don't smell? Like they do, but you like, oh, that stink. Everybody else be like, ah! It is what it is. I figured I'd say that. Also, special shout out to my mother. I know my family watches this, so please send her my regards. I'll send it myself, but you get what I'm saying. The pan dripping thing, she used to be a master with that. She would like get this big spoon and just like ladle it across each individual plate, bro. Game changer. I did that with this plate, obviously. I mean, it's the whole freaking pan because it's everything I eat. Like that rice, man. I love rice. I would say I could eat rice every day, but I pretty much do. Mm. God, man. Okay. I just splashed like grape drink. It's grape drink today, sugar free. You know what it buys. You know I got the gallon with me today though. The Pepsi retired. So. I also got some things I gotta get out in the open. Not my own. I feel like my topic today, this is gonna be like a hot button debate. But I gotta talk about it. Alright. Obviously, people who aren't new, if you are, what I do for a living, I run personal training studios. I have 2 of them. Obviously, this is like more like a side job. It's not like what I do for income. But with that, you meet a lot of interesting people. You get to have conversations with a lot of interesting. It's a good part of the job. So, I was talking to a female client of the business today. And I don't have to talk about this because we had not an argument, but like I like to debate with my friends. It's never like any animosity behind it. It's more of like a friendly debate. But like we might all like, you know, like friends do. Like you're not yelling at each other, but you get animated, you get hyped, you get shouting. So we're back and forth in it. So she's talking about how she met a prospective person that she might like start. I guess he asked her out. Okay. So she said she wasn't sure on going, even though she like is feeling like she thinks he's, you know, attractive guy, nice guy, so on and so forth. And I said, then what's the problem? You know, go on a date. Well, apparently, they were supposed to go to like a Dave and Buster's, you know, type of stuff. They talked about how they're both competitive. She said she's good at a lot of those, like, you know, the game type of stuff, like you need to do the basketball and, you know, like a skee ball, all that stuff. So, the guy commented to her, he said to her, I guess, if you win, you can beat me, I'll pay for everything. It's on me. You win. That's the wager. And she said, and this is where I was like, she said, no, you're paying anyway. First thing on my, like, for me, that's like, oh, all right. And he said, oh, really? Why is that? Her reply, obviously, I like playing this back in my head because, like, you know, I have to try to put it, piece it together because it's obviously like, happened in a short period of time. But she said that she has a rule that she never pays in the first 3 dates. Already my mind is like, and I know there's a lot of people watching, no matter what gender you are, we're saying that's how it's supposed to be. Well, I'm here to tell you, I've never disagreed with something so much in my life. I'm not usually a person that is so strong. Okay, I'm very opinionated. That's a freaking lie. I think that's the biggest crock of BS I have heard in all, at least this month. So, let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think, and the reason that she said this was she said that she's old-fashioned. As this being the person that I kind of know, first of all, no, you're not. Like, you're not old-fashioned. And I think in this day and age, there are a lot of people who have selective chivalry, and I am not a fan of that. What I mean when I say that is, if you are financially independent, if you're an independent person, Why would you think that it is normal and okay for someone to pay 100% of the bill? I understand old-time fashion, tradition, but in my head, in my opinion, and you can say that I'm wrong, I'm more than willing to talk about it. How does that make it okay for, in this case, one person, no matter what gender, I don't care. I just don't think that in this year, 2021, of dating, that one person should be completely obligated to pay the bill. You are two independent people. You both are gainfully employed. So, how is that old-fashioned? And I'm saying this because I don't like old-fashioned, personally. Old-fashioned to me, what I think of are submissive women. Because in the 40s, in the 50s, in the whatever, that's what times called for. Women weren't expected to work. They weren't expected to have anything. Like, in those days, it was uncommon for a woman to open a bank account on her own. I think that's ridiculous. I don't like that. I like today. I think it's awesome that everybody can have their own. But if I have my own and you have your own, then why do I have to make my own your own before anything is anywhere serious? So, why is it that I have to assume the risk and you don't? And in my opinion, I know that there are a lot of people out there, women that I know, that will show interest in a guy to get free stuff, like food, or a drink, or something. Even though they have a job. So, how can it be that you want new school with certain stuff? You have your own stuff, you have your own agenda, you have no one can tell you what to do, which is beautiful. But you want old school relationship values, but new school relationship, like only in the stuff that you deem is okay. Again, this is not everybody, some people, but I'm gonna be honest with you. If I'm paying for everything, all the time, breadwinner, especially if you have your own bank account. First of all, I almost threw up my own mouth. No way. No. I think that it is better right now, in this climate that we are in, better climate to me, to split the bill. Not because I'm cheap. And truthfully, I'll probably pay for it all anyway. But if you tell me beforehand that you're not paying, I'm immediately turned off. That's the crazy part. I don't mind paying. I don't care. If you really feel that strongly about it, like, whatever. But you're not even going to offer to pay? Like, why? You have a job. And you know what? See, the stupid thing that a lot of men do is they feel like because they... And you know why? Because that was the tradition back then, and I don't like that. You pay for stuff. It does not give me power over you to tell you what to do. Back then it did, which is ridiculous. I'm talking old, like, 60 years ago. In those days, women weren't expected to work. They're expected to stay home and cook and clean and do all the laundry and like fold my clothes and I don't do anything at home. Like, I think that's weird. I wouldn't want to live in a house where I didn't do anything. And I just feel like that's a step on the wrong, like, why do you say that? I'm getting, you're starting on the wrong foot. Because he said, I need to find if it's 3 dates on whether or not I like the guy. So, what, I'm paying for your attention? Like, for now? Like, just in case? But if you ghost me in 2 dates, then I'm just like, oh, alright. Y'all think that's okay? Like, literally, honestly, do you? Because people say, oh, why is this dude getting so butthurt, so mad? Not me, but in general. Don't you think that's why? Because when did you stop showing interest at that point? Now your brain is racing going, did she ever really even like me in the first place, or was she just there to get some free stuff? To me, fair, in this day and age, you both assume the risk. I mean, at the end of the day, finances are finances. You don't feel that way, then meet for coffee for a couple of times because it's cheaper. But if you expect me to take you to dinner, like, you pay, like, so you want me to spend, like, at the end of the day, I'll spend like $300-400 for a chance to maybe, like, you just give me your time, like, in this day and age? I don't think that's fair. In the 50s, when men, like, courted and showed up at your house and, hi, I'd like to take your daughter out, because she didn't live anywhere but home because they couldn't work. Excuse me. Like, a different story. But in this day and age, like, and I guess maybe that's because that's the way I grew up, but I do know women who are really old school. They want the man to lead the way. And if that's how you feel, like, I'm not for that. I have literally stopped on first dates, like, going for coffee, whatever, and someone tells me that's what they want, and I'll stay and talk, but, at the end of the day, like, I'm very vocal about the fact that, like, I'm not interested in that. I don't want to tell you what to do all the time. Like, I prefer a partner. I want the decisions that we make, where we're going to live, like, that kind of, like, to be us. I want you to like the house. I want you to like where we live. I want, like, you know what I mean? I don't know if that's like a me thing or like it doesn't make sense to me. Again, I'm only stating my opinion. My opinion is only my opinion. I love and respect women to the point that I want, like, true equality. I'm not saying, oh, I'm being cheap. I necessarily don't mind paying. I don't. It's more of like the principle in that case where I do know, and I think, like, men don't really talk about this kind of stuff because they feel almost embarrassed to say it. But I am not absolving men of the scumbaggy things that they do. Different topic. A lot of men out there have been used for money, like, go on dates. I have had women laughingly tell me I don't really like this guy, but I want dinner. Like, that's really wrong. You're messing with someone's emotions because you're hungry and you have a job. Like, I just think that's really wrong, Again, I'm not saying men don't do stuff. I know they do. We'll talk about that another day. I only have a certain amount of food and a certain amount of time. Because I don't like guys who do that kind of stuff either. Just, again, saying it. But at the same time, ladies, if you do this, just for me. I have been the shoulder in my profession. You're almost a therapist. And I'm not here talking about anybody's, like, one personal thing, but I can tell you from 100%, I've been told this. Men get hurt and used too. And if you do this stuff, please do not, if you're not interested in a guy, fake interest in him for your own benefit. Like, you wouldn't, and I'm sure you've had guys do stuff like that to you, and you don't like it. It doesn't give you the okay to do so either. Don't show interest in a guy that you're not really interested in because you're trying to use his energy to make you feel better. I know people do it, and again, this is stuff that I've been told firsthand by women. Don't use a guy because you want to boost your ego, because you're really draining him of his energy to build yours, and that's not right. Guys, I'm not talking about you yet, but I'll get on you in another video. Like, don't do that stuff either. Don't lie to a girl to get something that you want, because you're making yourself feel better by hurting someone else. It's wrong. Don't do that. Just be honest about your intentions, both ways. Don't. No, I had women. I joined a dating app, or I'm only talking to him because I needed to feel better about myself. So you keep him close enough that he can't really move on with his life because you keep giving him mixed messages purposefully. Just in case. I've seen men do it too. I'm not just saying, oh, women are bad. No, not at all. Not all women do this. A large majority of women don't do this. I'm not giving you percentages. I'm just saying I know it happens. And you wouldn't like it if somebody did it to you. Fellas, fellas, don't do that stuff either. Don't tell a girl you love her or you're interested in her because you have ulterior motives. Because you wouldn't like it either. And I know dudes do that stuff too. I'm not saying they don't. I think people would be very surprised. Both ways. I know guys that would stick around. Hey, listen, look, I'm not looking for anything. I just kind of want attention. Some guys would be more than happy to give it to you. I know it sounds crazy. Fellas, if you're only there because you want that, you know, I know what you just say it. Even if she says, fine, I'm not interested, move on. Someone out there might be. There's plenty of people out there that don't want anything from you. Believe me. But the worst thing that you can do as a human, forget gender, is use people for their energy for your own benefit. You have to look at it like an energy is a quantitative thing. And you're on 50%, right? You don't have any positive energy. So, you take someone else's energy. You meet a girl and you lie to her because you want to boost your own whatever. And you take her energy. Yeah, you're at 100, but now she's at 50. Like, do you know that now you're just paying forward a cycle of stupidity is why people don't understand each other. Now, in this dating case for that, the person and the guy about her paying, he said, I don't know if I want to do that. I respect both parties because she made it known that's what she believes in, and he made it known that I'm not going to do that. Maybe they can come to a compromise. I asked her, said, you really like the guy? She said, yeah. I said, then why wouldn't you willing to meet him halfway? She said, because that's not what I do. And I said, that's not what he does either. Is he willing to compromise? She said, I don't know. I said, are you willing to talk about it? She said, I don't know. I said, that's a question you got to ask yourself. Is the juice worth the squeeze? But I always believe in the meet me halfway vibe. I do. Meet me halfway. Say we go on 2 dates. I got one, you got one. So you want to split it 50-50. That's fine too. Let's just go somewhere that doesn't cost a lot of money because I don't want to spend $150 if you don't know you're interested in me. Because to me, if I take you to like Ruth's Chris or some expensive steakhouse, like I must like you. I don't just take people there. I just spit my food because I'm so mad. I'm not mad, but I'm animated. Sorry about the spit. I just ate it too. But I think that's fair. And personally, I do believe in this too. I think first dates should never be expensive. It should be something very casual. Meet for coffee, go on a walk. Something like that, where you can just talk and you meet and you get to know each other and you can see the vibe and see where it goes from there. After that, maybe you go somewhere a little more. I don't know, to a movie, to something like that. Then if you decide you like each other, yeah, like who cares at that point? And I doubt either of you will because at that point you're invested. But you shouldn't expect anybody to like, if you're a person who's like, oh, I'm going on a first date, you better like wine me and dine me. Like, where do you get off? Both ways. And fellas, like, just because you give someone money so you pay for something, doesn't mean she owes you anything in return. If you think that, you need to reevaluate your thinking. You're an idiot. Respectfully. Nobody owes you anything. I've been at bars with dudes that have bought girls several drinks and been like, damn, she ain't even talking to me? Like, hold up, I bought her like 4 drinks. So what? That was your choice. She didn't owe you anything for that. If you didn't feel like buying them, if you were buying them for a price, like, you might want to go to places that you can buy things for a price. Because that's not what this is. That's not how the world works. And I know couples that go out and the boyfriend's like, hey, go ahead and get a drink about them. I ain't got to pay for it then. I'm not joking either. I am not kidding. I just feel like the biggest reason that people that are trying to date or get to know each other, the biggest reason why there is always something that goes wrong is because people would rather fake it than communicate. And in any relationship, whether it's platonic, friendship, mom and dad, communication Everyone being on the same page is key. Let people make their own decisions based off of what the truth is. If you are not looking for a real relationship, state your intentions, don't lie. Both ways. If you're looking for, I don't know, I know these people now got the friends with benefits things and all that. If that's what you're looking for, make it known. At least make the other person know if they choose not to believe you. I've had that occurrence. You were being honest. And also, ladies, you're more culpable of this than guys. Let me tell you something. If a guy says he doesn't want a relationship, I feel like I have to say this. And it sounds obvious, but this is the truth. If a guy says he doesn't want a relationship, he doesn't want a relationship. That does not mean that you are going to change his mind. You are only going to get yourself hurt. Stop thinking you can change someone. Don't stay in hopes that they'll about face and change their mind. You will get hurt 98% of the time. I'm just telling you, okay? If you're one of those people that date and you want to talk to other people, it doesn't necessarily have to be stated, I guess, but don't tell them that you're not. You get what I'm saying? Some people are like, oh, you're the only person I talk to, when they're clearly not. Like, if it's not discussed, then don't talk about it, in my opinion. But if you're going to say it just to say it, like, you're conning now at that point. You're doing it because you hope that they don't, even though you are. And that makes you a scumbag. Any gender. That is not gender specific, but I know people who do that too. Don't do that. Oh, you're the only person I talk to. They got like 20 people on a speed dial. Like, you're a scumbag. I don't know. I had to talk about that one. That was on my mind all day. We had a little debate. I got a lot of opinions on that kind of stuff. But I just want, like I said before, I respect everybody. You know, I respect all genders, all people, all walks of life. I love to discuss things, you know, as long as people come into it with an open mind. I have my opinions and you might have a differing one, but at the end of the day, I think that's the way people learn. You have dialogue. Maybe there's things that I'm not seeing. It's possible, but, you know, I just had to say, I always got to throw stuff out there into the universe and see what comes back. Anyway, it has been your boy, King Strats. I probably ruffled some feathers today, boy. We will be back, though, tomorrow. More content. I love y'all. My hand signs they made to YouTube. What was that, sour cream on my hand? Sure is. Sour cream.